Let's move on to another issue of extreme importance, or should be of extreme importance to everybody, but I know it's of great importance to us progressives, and that is fair elections in Georgia. And it encompasses a huge range: suppression of voter registration, making it more difficult for people to get to the polls, making it more difficult to get and mail in ballots, and then just plain concern with these machines that are totally unauditable. How would you address all this election concerns that we have?
Well, we had a dry run this year of mail-in voting, and if the lesson of Oregon is any guide, we should have probably some of the highest participation with zero or very little questionable behavior in the system. People who usually can't vote are going to be able to actually get to vote because they don't have to do it on a certain day, on a Tuesday, when most people have to work all day. And with the low wage situation that a lot of people face, that's maybe they have to work all 12 hours and they don't have the opportunity to leave. I know that your boss is legally required to let you leave, but he's not legally required to pay you while you're gone to go vote. And so that would be my number one, really, is to say, look, we just had mail-in voting. We tested it. I'm sure that there are hiccups because they weren't planning on having that many mail-in ballots, but we did it. I've actually got my ballot filled in and ready to throw in the mailbox today. We will find that is a great system. And if the Democrats end up in the House, I think that we could say, look at the wonderful success that we had when we didn't even, it wasn't part of the plan. We weren't ready for it. We just said, oh, we can't do in-person voting because everybody's going to get sick if we do that. We have to switch to mail-in, or at least make it an option for people. And just looking back at the success that we will probably have, we can say, now, why wouldn't we do this all the time? It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be more verifiable. It's going to be all around better. I know people like to still in-person vote. We have switched to machines that have a paper output, which is good. And I haven't tried the machine, but my understanding is that it has a QR code at the top that's supposed to be that encapsulates all the votes that the voter made, and then it has a printed list of what the votes were under it. Now the question is, when they do a recount, the first recount is scan the QR codes again, because what you do is you make the piece of paper on your machine, you go over to another machine and you scan the QR code. So that would just be scan it again. And if the fault is within the scanning and tabulating, then that's not really going to help anything. But you still do have the piece of paper that has everyone's vote on it, and that's a thing that you can count. I know that it would be difficult because it's just people looking at a piece of paper and saying who voted this, who voted that. But it's better than what we had, which was just a little yellow card that you'd put in and you push a bunch of buttons on the screen and you'd say vote. And I don't know, did it go through? There's no way to tell. Another thing that we can do to improve is automatic voter registration. When you get your driver's license, you get registered to vote. Your driver's license has everything that you need to get one of those, has everything that you need to prove that you're allowed to vote in a place. It's got your address, it's got your citizenship status. They even get your picture, right? So they have everything that they need to know that you are a legal citizen, and that means that you have the right to vote. That should automatically register. Voting should not only happen on Tuesday. We should have weekend voting. Early voting is great, but it could be longer. It could be more hours. It could be in more places. There are a lot of opportunities. I think mail-in voting is the number one.